Okay, so this is a very important video for me to make. I still don't know how to put everything in words. It's most of a feeling that I want to convey to you. So I am hoping that what I am saying will make sense. And I am asking you to just relax and feel what I am saying and let me know if this makes sense, if it resonates with you. One of the biggest block that is standing between you and healing, and I have seen it in my life over and over and over again, doesn't matter what the problem is. The biggest block is I am wishing things were different. I am not accepting how things are, and I believe they should be different. So when I start with my earliest memory of me believing that there's something wrong with my body. The earliest memory is when I was in kindergarten and we had mandatory health screening at school. And the local doctor would come in and he would make all of these weird tests, right? Stomping on a ink pad and then stepping on the paper to see if you maybe have a lack of arch in your foot. And they were measuring us and putting us on a scale and things like that. And I remember everybody had to undress down to his or her underwear. And I was 6 at the time. Maybe I even turned 7. I'm original from Poland, so we have a slightly different school system. And I was the biggest girl in the class, the tallest, I looked at the oldest, and I started developing sexually very early. So I was the first one in the class to actually grow boobs. If you know what that feels like, if you have been one of those girls, you know exactly what is it that I'm trying to say here. So I stepped on the paper and the doctor was right in front of me, and I remember his white coat and his bald spot and huge glasses, and he looked up at me and with a very snarky voice told me, you must be eating very well at home. And that was the first time ever that someone told me and that I was different from anybody else in the school. And that's the first time I actually felt ashamed of myself, of my body. Not myself. Of course, as a child, you feel different things, but this was about my body. I never heard it from anybody else, from my family, at least I don't remember that. So when it happened the first time, coming from a doctor that I was taught is the specialist and the doctor knows and whatever the doctor says is the truth and all that, I didn't see anybody else pay attention to it, at least I don't remember. I remember my friend was right next to me. And I can't recall if anybody else noticed what he said, but it really, really hit me. So when I brought the news home that the doctor was making a comment about me in this way, without actually telling me there's something wrong with you or you are all okay, he's just making a comment about the way I look, not even directly telling me that I am big or fat or whatever else. He just told me that I might be fed really well at home. And I told my mom, and I remember she tried to protect me by explaining that in a way that I, as a child, would understand in a way where I wouldn't feel affected by it. And since then I started, of course the emotion stays, it's not about hearing it and understanding it, you have to feel it. So I didn't feel my mom's explanation. I didn't get it. all I felt is there's something wrong with me. And since then, I tried to correct it. And as so many of you know, it's estimated about 90% of women in the entire United States has experienced this problem before. You start to diet in order to look a certain way because the society or the industry or your family or whoever tells you that you need to look a certain way, right? There's a right way to look and there's a wrong way to look or be. So when I started dieting, of course, the natural response of the body is going to make you super hungry. So the vicious cycle of dieting, binging, purging, denying myself nourishment started around that age, and it continued. It actually continued till early this year, when I had a very profound experience, but I'm going to talk about it some other time. All I want to say, given the explanation I just gave you of my first experience of feeling there's something wrong with me, I did not accept for so many years that this is how I am. And this is how my body is. And my body does not tell me my worth, does not tell anybody else about my dreams, my hopes, what I achieved in life, how good I am, how bad I am at some things. It doesn't tell anybody anything about me other than how I look. And people make all the kinds of assumptions about what is it that you do, so you look this way. Or maybe you don't have a strong will, or God knows what they're thinking. And I have been carrying this in myself for so long. And the reason why I'm getting emotional right now, because I know there's so many of you that are going through the same experience. It doesn't matter whether or not it's about your weight. Maybe it is about your skin. Maybe it's about the rashes that you're having. Maybe it's about you losing hair because of your condition. Maybe it is about you being tired all the time. Maybe it is about you having reactions with food. Maybe it's about you being bloated. Whatever it is that the body does naturally in order to protect itself from inside and outside environment. Someone probably made a comment about it, and you remember that first comment that made you feel that you are not, it's not okay to be like this. And you accept that truth. You accept somebody else's truth. And because you don't accept the way your body is right now and the way things are right now, I'm not talking about saying that it's right to be like that all the time, right? There's a natural consequence. The body is having an issue, and then it tries to protect itself by developing certain physiological changes. And when it's chronic, the problem is chronic, the physiological changes stay for longer. They change your entire system. It's not that you are choosing it. You just don't know that this is what's happening. You don't have that cognition yet. So when the changes in the body are happening, and I am noticing right now that I am just talking in circles, and I hope this makes sense to you. When you do not prove that the things are the way they are, you're looking for a solution that you did not achieve yet, and you measure your life by the standard of that thing you haven't achieved yet. For me, for over close to 3 decades, it has been a certain look of my body. Maybe it has been a certain number on a scale. Maybe it has been, it's all vanity based, how I look and how people perceive me. And maybe for you, this is a certain function of the body that you haven't had or haven't felt in a long time. Maybe it's also about the way you look, and you measure your quality of life by that thing that you do not have. And the biggest game changer for me has been finding approval and accepting that I am the way I am, my body is the way my body is, and opening myself to the possibility that this is actually, that there might be a benefit to it. And when I started looking for the possible benefit in a condition that I was fighting against, my body image, my eating disorder, my autoimmune conditions, my hormonal issues, when I was when I was looking for answers to the question of how is this benefiting me and what could be the possible positive, hidden positive in this, this is where my real healing journey started. By finally paying attention to how my body tried to keep me safe. And this is the basis of what is it that I am teaching and the message that I want you to hear. There is a positive to how you look, how you feel, what your body is doing. And it could be just as simple as your high blood pressure is compensating for the toxicity that you are inputting from the outside via food or whatever. Maybe you have a very slow metabolism because of your thyroid slowing down, and that is because a slowed down thyroid puts you at the position where you do not have to actively go after things in life, and this is the only way for you to actually receive love in the form of pity or someone feeling sorry for you, because you have never actually received unconditional love in the way and form that you would like before. Maybe the positive to you having your digestive issues is, one, the body getting rid of things that it does not, that are harming it quicker, but also it builds a wall of safety around you, because when you have digestive issues, you get to cut yourself off from people and you are no longer exposed to them because you're sitting at home because you have to use a bathroom every 10 minutes. And I'm just talking about possibilities right now. So what I invite you to do today is to, with curiosity and playfulness, you do not have to know these answers. And whatever comes up, examine it, look at it, without judging it and moralizing it. It's not good nor bad. When an answer comes, I really invite you to look at it. What could be the possible benefit or positive outcome of you experiencing your problem or illness of a symptom? And the example that I can give you, which is struggles with body issue, body weight, and recycling the same 50 pounds over and over again in my adult life, is that by managing in a very, very abusive way, the way I looked gave me a false hope to be accepted by the outside world and the society. And the mirage of achieving that felt better than just accepting the body that I have. So I hope this video makes sense, and I am trusting that whomever needed to hear this and understand this got the message. If you didn't know what is it I'm talking about, just sounds like a ramble, that's okay. I will be my hope is that I can find better words to describe what is it that I'm feeling right now, and that we will be able to move through this together. I just want to remind you that I'm not perfect. I do have symptoms, and I still have Hashimoto's, and I still have extra weight that I'm actively working on accepting and disconnecting myself from the general idea of how bodies should look like. And I intend to make my journey public to really show you that healing is a continuous effort, is the wrong word I want to use. It's a continuous action, not because you always can find something wrong with yourself, but because you discover new depths of accepting and loving the parts of yourself that are hurting. This is a continuous action, internal, external. So I invite you to stay with me, stay tuned for more videos like this, very personal videos. And I'm really hoping that maybe by hearing me and seeing me in this video today, you understand now that you're not crazy, you're not alone, you're not the only one that feels like this. Okay, so that's my hope, and that's my wish for tonight. Okay, good night. Bye-bye.